Hello, friends. Welcome to today's football predictions on Betkraft. Okay, today is a beautiful Monday morning and the second day of September 2024, and we do have so many games going on across the globe. But today we are limited in terms of our selections, seeing that we would like to be focusing on goals this time around. Saying that our recent run hasn't always been the best, but we're looking to actually fine tune it and at the end of the day, securing success in our games today. So we're looking at most of the Scandinavian games, and we'll be looking at playing over 1.5 and over 2.5, which is actually much more you know occurring in most of their recent games. So all right, in the short term, we'll be looking at these games one after the other, and we'll be looking at how they performed in recent times, and also as well as the performances from home and away perspective, and also making our verdict on these very games. All right. But before we do that, I want to ask you first. So, coming across our video for the first time, yet to subscribe, to kindly take our time to hit the subscription button so that you do not miss out on our subsequent games that will always come up on this channel on a daily basis. Okay. All right. Have you done that? Okay, thank you very much. Let's head to the business of the day, and without further ado, we're starting with the very first game, which is actually in Romanian Romanian League 2, actually, where we have Steaua Bucuresti coming up against Craiova. Okay, and we look at Steaua Bucuresti, the home side. Have been able to achieve 3 victories in the past 6 games that they had in recent times, but they've also had 3 draws as well. And the away side, on the other hand, Craiova have won 3 games in the past 6. They've also had 2 draws, but 1 loss in the past 6 recent encounters. And when you look at how these 2 teams have performed from home and away perspective, you can also see that the home side, Bucuresti, have actually been able to achieve 6 victories in the past 10 home games. They've actually had 3 draws, but lost 1 game out of the past 10 home games that they have played so far. All right, that tells you that 60% of the home matches have actually resulted to a win for the home side, and away side, on the other hand, have actually been able to achieve 3 victories from away. They've also had 2 draws, but they've had 5 losses in the past 10 away games that they had so far. Okay, when you put all that together, you will see that the home side is actually having the upper hand in this one, seeing that 60% of the home matches have actually resulted to a win for the home side, and we will expect to see the home side either to win or draw and under 4.5. That's all for that very game. Home win or draw and under 4.5. Okay, and that takes us to the next for today, and it is in Russia, second division, where we have Volgograd coming up against the Chaika. Okay, Volgograd, the home side, have achieved 2 victories in recent games. They've also had 2 losses as well as 2 draws. And the away side, Chaika, have actually managed to achieve 3 wins, 2 draws, as well as 1 loss in recent 6 games that they had so far. When you take a look at performances from home and away perspective on both sides, you could see that the home side, Volgograd, have been able to achieve 4 victories in the past 10 home games, but they have had 5 losses as well, and also 1 loss in the past 10 home games that they had so far. It means that 40% of the home games have actually resulted to a win for the home side, and it is not a team that you could say that is performing the very best. They're actually average, in my opinion. And when you look at the away side, Chaika, they've had 2 victories in the past 10 away games, and they've also had 4 draws as well as 4 losses in the past 10 away games, and that too is another below par team, seeing that 20% of their past 10 away games have actually resulted to win for the away side, and they've actually lost 4 and have drawn 4. So when you put all this 2 results together, you see that the best bet for this very game is to expect to see the home side achieving a win or draw and under 4.5. Yet that's our verdict in that very game, and that takes us to the next for today. And we've gone into the Scandinavian, where we'll have in Norway second division, we'll have Brann 2 who'll be up against Arendal. Okay, when you look at the recent performances for both sides, you could see that the home side have had 4 wins in the past 6 games. They've also had 1 draw as well as 1 loss. And the away side, on the other hand, Arendal managed to achieve 1 draw, but have had two wins and 3 losses in the past recent 6 games that they had. And looking at the performances from home and away perspective, you could also see that Brann too, the team who have achieved the 4 wins in the past 10 home games. They've also had 1 draw as well, and have lost 5 games in the past 10 home games. But when you look closely, you see that it is goals that is actually very prominent in the occurring in this the last 10 home games, seeing that 7 games out of the past 10 home games have actually seen over 2.5. And we side also looking at they've been able to achieve 4 victories from away. They've also had lost 4 and have had 2 draws as well, and also 7 games out of the past or actually 6 games out of the past 10 away games have actually seen them playing over 2.5, and it means that it is actually a goals value that is much more better in this very one. So we do expect to see a minimum of over 1.5 in this very encounter. 2 goals appearing in this very encounter. That's all for that very game, and that takes us to the next for the day. And it's also in Norwegian League's first division, where we'll have Levanger coming up against Egersund, the way side. So we look at how these 2 teams have performed in the past recent games, and you see that the home side Levanger have been able to achieve 3 victories in the past 10 home games. In the past 6 recent games, they've also had 3 losses alongside. And we look at Egersund, that the away side have won 3 games. They've also had 3 losses also. And bringing it down to how these 2 teams have performed from home and away perspective, you could see that home side here, Levanger, have been able to achieve 3 victories, but they've also had 2 draws and 5 losses in the past 10 home games that they have so far. And the away side, Egersund, on the other hand, have won 6 games from away. They've also had 2 draws, but they've also They've also lost 2 games out of the past 10 away games, and that tells you that the away side Egersund is actually doing far better. Been able to achieve 60% of their wins in the past 10 away games that they had so far, and that tells you it's a very better side compared to the home side, who have won only 3 games in the past 10 home games they had. And the last time they met saw them playing out a 2-2 draw. On that occasion, Egersund played from home and Levanger played from away, and that was in May this year. But in this very encounter, it is a goals value that we made for this very game, and we do expect to see a lot of goals in this one, and it is an over 2.5, a minimum of 3 goals occurring in this very encounter. That's what value to that very game, and that takes us to the next for the day. It is in Denmark first division, where we have Hobro, who will be up against B93 Copenhagen. And when you look at the recent results for both sides, you can as well see the Hobro and the home side have actually had 4 victories, and they've had 1 draw and as well as 1 loss. And the away side, on the other hand, B93 have been able to achieve 2 victories. They've had 1 draw, but have lost 3 games in the past recent encounters. And when you look at the performances for both sides from home and away perspective, you can as well see that home side Hobro have won 3 games in the past 10 home games. They've actually had 4 draws, but they both actually lost 3 out of those past 10 home games that they had. And the away side, on the other hand, B93 have won 4 games from away, but have lost 6 out of those 10 away games. And that tells you that these 2 teams are quite evenly balanced, seeing that the home side have won 30% of the home games, and the away side have actually won 40% of the away games, and they've lost 6 out of those. And when you look at the recent games for both sides, how they fared, from head-to-head perspective, the last time they met, which was March this year, saw them playing out a 1-1 draw, and prior to that in September last year, we saw them playing out a 2-1 draw. Hobro, defeating B93 on that occasion by 2-1. So in this very encounter, the best option for us in this very game is actually to result to an over 1.5, a minimum of 2 goals appearing in this very encounter. That's our verdict. And over 1.5, that's what we expect. And that takes us to the next, which I will be the last for the day, and it is in Swedish First Division North. Swedish First Division North, we'll have Hammarby TFF coming up against Stockholm International. And we look at the home side, Hammarby, they actually had 2 wins in the past 6 recent games. They've also had 2 losses as well as 2 draws. And when you look at Stockholm International, they have actually won 4 games in the past 6, and they've also had 2 losses in the recent 6 games that they had so far. And then when you look at the performances from home and away side, and you see that Hammarby TFF have actually won 6 games from home. They've also had 2 draws, but have lost 2 games in the past
10 home games that they had, and away side Stockholm have actually been able to manage 4 wins from away. They've actually had five losses and 1 draw in the past 10 away games that they have so far. And when you look at how these two teams have performed deeply, you see that it is actually goals that is quite very prominent in this very encounters, saying that the home side Hammarby have actually seen a lot of over 2.5 goals in the last 10 home games. Have actually produced over 2.5 on 7 occasions, and away side on the other hand have actually seen a very similar situation. Actually 8 games out of the past the 7 games too out of the past 10 away games have actually seen them scoring over 2.5 having over 2.5 scoreline in their matches. So when you put all that together in this very game, we still do expect to see a minimum of 2 goals in this very one. It is an over 1.5. That's our verdict for this very game, and that's brings our predictions for you today on Betkraft to a conclusion. I wish you the very best of luck, and I hope your ticket goes green. And remember to also play responsibly. It is only a football game. Anything can happen. Something can happen and then change the course of the entire game. And that being said, tomorrow is another day, and we'll be coming up with our predictions for you today, tomorrow. But until then, keep winning.